USS Abraham Lincoln, Persian Gulf, January 31st, 2026, 3:20 p.m., the day Iran made the deadliest mistake in its military history. 4 M-HAST I-17 transport helicopters flying low over open water, flying fast, heading straight for America's most powerful warship. Fake Mayday declared on emergency channel. Carrier prepared to receive distressed aircraft. Maritime law required it. But this was no emergency. This was an attack. Doors flew open. 32 Iranian Revolutionary Guard commandos jumped out. AK-103 rifles raised. Grenades armed. Shooting immediately. No warning. No hesitation. Iran's plan was bold. Land on the flight deck. Kill the entire crew. Destroy 40 parked aircraft worth billions. Seize the control tower. Hold 5,000 Americans hostage on their own ship. Force America to surrender publicly. Ultimate propaganda victory for the Islamic Revolution broadcast to the entire world. But 19 minutes later, all 32 commandos dead. Every single one eliminated. 0 escaped from that deck. 0 survived the American response. Flight deck completely cleared. Carrier fully operational and continuing its mission. This is what happens when you storm an American warship. This is Operation Deck Clearance. Iran made 7 fatal miscalculations. 7 reasons every single commando died on that carrier deck. First, flight deck already had 120 armed sailors actively working. Security teams returned fire instantly the moment shooting started. Within seconds, fighting back immediately and aggressively. Second, 180 Marines were permanently stationed aboard Abraham Lincoln, full combat-ready company, alerted within mere seconds, responding onto flight deck within 30 seconds, trained specifically and repeatedly for exactly this type of shipboard assault scenario. Third, carrier had internal security cameras covering every single inch of the entire flight deck. Every commando position tracked in real time. Every movement identified immediately. Marines coordinating their perfect defensive response using live camera feeds throughout the entire battle. Fourth, 32 commandos found themselves surrounded by 5,000 furious Americans the moment their boots hit that deck. Nowhere to hide among parked aircraft. Nowhere to run on a carrier in open sea. Completely trapped, massively outnumbered. Doomed from the very first second of landing. Fifth, 40 FA-18. Super Hornets sitting on that deck, each aircraft worth $70 million. Americans protecting those jets with absolute ferocity, fighting between aircraft, using every jet as cover and fighting position. Brutal, close combat developing around every single aircraft on that deck. Sixth, carrier control tower had 50 caliber heavy machine gun positions overlooking the entire flight deck below, firing directly down onto commando positions with devastating accuracy from above. Inescapable. Nowhere on that open deck to find any shelter from tower guns. Seventh, you do not attack a United States carrier and survive. Ever. American Marines do not take prisoners during active ship assault operations. Kill every threat immediately. No exceptions made, no mercy shown to anyone attacking American sailors on American steel. 19 minutes, 32 commandos, all dead. Iran learned the absolute hardest lesson in military history on that deck, 72 hours earlier. January 28, 2026. Tehran. Iranian Revolutionary Guard Strategic Command Headquarters. General Hosseini standing before Supreme Leader Khamenei, presenting the most audacious military plan in Iranian history. Supreme Leader. USS Abraham Lincoln operates freely in our Persian Gulf. Arrogant American presence. Direct threat to Iranian sovereignty every single day. I propose something historically bold. 4 transport helicopters. Fake mechanical emergency declared on radio. 32 of our best elite commandos jump out the moment we land. Overwhelm the American flight crew before they fully react. Capture the entire carrier. Ultimate public humiliation for the United States. and the entire world watches Iran seize an American nuclear warship live on international television. Khamenei leaned forward slowly. Capture an American carrier. That sounds completely impossible. They will kill every single one of your men on that deck. Hosseini continued confidently. Supreme Leader, surprise will be total. Helicopters declare mechanical emergency on International Emergency Channel. Maritime law forces Americans to allow landing. By the time American sailors fully react and organize a response, our commandos already control the flight deck completely. Destroy their aircraft. Seize the command tower. 5,000 American hostages on their own ship. America forced into negotiations before the entire watching world. The superpower publicly humiliated by Iran. Khamenei sat silently for a moment, then spoke. If this fails, every commando dies on that deck. If this succeeds, they are permanent heroes of our revolution. I personally approve this operation, but failure means death for all of them. There is absolutely no coming back from failure on this mission. Decision made at highest level. Operation formally approved. Most dangerous plan Iran ever conceived and executed against American forces. Revolutionary Guard immediately activated their elite assault force. 32 volunteers personally selected from the best available fighters in the entire organization. Most dedicated soldiers. Most completely willing to accept certain death for this mission and for Iran. Final briefing delivered directly. Land on carrier deck. Kill the American flight crew fast. Destroy every parked aircraft possible. Seize the command and control tower. Hold the entire crew hostage. Await the victory announcement broadcasting live from Tehran to the watching world. Expected personal casualties for this mission. 100%. Complete suicide mission fully accepted by every volunteer. Trained intensively for 3 straight days without stopping. Helicopter assault techniques from moving platforms. Close quarters combat drills in confined ship spaces. Aircraft sabotage methods practiced repeatedly. Control tower seizure tactics rehearsed constantly until perfect. Every commando understood completely they were dying on this mission. They volunteered regardless. For Iran, for the Islamic Revolution, for eternal martyrdom and glory that would last forever in Iranian history. Meanwhile, USS Abraham Lincoln, operating in the Persian Gulf, 60 miles from the Iranian coastline. Standard freedom of navigation patrol mission. Nimitz-class nuclear carrier. 100,000 tons of American military power. 5,000 crew members total aboard. 3,000 sailors operating every system on the ship. 2,000 air wing personnel maintaining and flying aircraft. 180 Marines providing ship security and defense. 75 total aircraft aboard. 40 FA, 18 Super Hornets parked on the flight deck right now. Fully fueled for immediate missions. Weapons systems fully armed and ready. Each single jet worth $70 million sitting in open air on that deck. Captain Michael Harrison had briefed his senior staff early that morning. We are operating dangerously close to Iranian territory today. Iran is politically agitated and unstable right now. Expect significant harassment coming. Fast patrol boats approaching our position. Their aircraft buzzing close overhead. Maybe something far worse than harassment arriving today. All security teams remain fully armed at every single moment. Marines on complete combat readiness status at all times. If anything moves wrong out there, we respond instantly with overwhelming force. I want every person aboard to understand something feels genuinely wrong out here today. Stay completely sharp at all stations around the clock. Ship fully defended from all angles. Sea Sparrow missiles loaded and ready. RAM close-in defense systems fully active. 50 caliber machine guns on all tower positions manned and ready. Carrier strike group operating nearby, providing full support. 3 Arleigh Burke class destroyers patrolling in formation. 1 Ticonderoga class cruiser maintaining position. All vessels on high alert status. But Iran was not targeting the destroyers or the cruiser. Iran was targeting the carrier directly. Insane plan. completely unprecedented in the entire history of modern naval warfare. Never attempted before against any American warship in any ocean. 1 p.m. 4 m. I-17. Transport helicopters departed from the Iranian Coastal Air Base, loaded with 32 fully armed commandos ready for their suicide mission, loaded with weapons and explosives for maximum destruction, flying dangerously low over open water, actively evading Lincoln's powerful radar systems, heading directly toward Abraham Lincoln across the Persian Gulf, 100 kilometers away. 40 minutes estimated flight time remaining. Helicopter pilots sweating with nerves and fear, flying straight at the most powerful warship on the face of the earth, armed with hostile intent, disguised completely as emergency distress aircraft, hoping Americans accept the Mayday deception without question, allow them to land without resistance. Then the real attack begins without warning. 2 p.m. Iranian helicopters holding position 50 kilometers from the carrier, slowing down significantly, watching carrier flight operations carefully from a safe distance, timing their approach window with precision. FA-18. Super Hornets launching regularly from carrier catapults, powerful steam catapults firing jets into the Persian Gulf afternoon sky, arresting wires successfully catching every single returning jet. Normal afternoon flight operations continuing completely smoothly aboard Lincoln. 120 flight deck crew members working hard across the entire deck. Standard operational afternoon aboard. Nobody aboard that carrier yet expecting what was about to arrive from the northeast. 3 p.m. final attack authorization transmitted directly from Tehran Command. Proceed to carrier immediately. Declare your emergency on all available channels. Land on the deck. Execute the assault exactly as trained and rehearsed. 4 helicopter pilots pushed throttles forward simultaneously with determination, engines accelerating to maximum available power, heading straight for Abraham Lincoln with zero hesitation. 25 kilometers remaining, 15 kilometers, 10 kilometers, closing extremely fast. Absolutely no turning back now for any person aboard those 4 helicopters. 3:15 p.m. Lincoln radar systems detected 4 incoming contacts approaching fast. Air Boss reporting immediately to bridge. Captain Harrison, 4 helicopters bearing northeast, 10 kilometers out and closing fast. Iranian military aircraft approaching at unusual speed. Highly unusual movement and approach pattern observed on our screens. Captain Harrison responded immediately and decisively. All defensive systems to fully active status right now. Security teams to maximum alert immediately. Track every single movement of those approaching aircraft continuously. If hostile intent is confirmed at any point during approach, shoot them down before they reach this carrier. Something is very seriously wrong with this entire approach pattern right now. 3:18 p.m. Iranian lead helicopter transmitted urgently on the International Emergency Channel. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is Iranian military helicopter declaring full emergency. Multiple catastrophic engine failures across all 4 aircraft simultaneously. Requesting immediate emergency landing authorization on USS Abraham Lincoln. Immediate assistance required for human lives. This is a genuine maritime emergency situation. Please respond immediately. Air Boss responded professionally and calmly. Iranian helicopter. State your exact emergency clearly and specifically. What is your precise mechanical problem right now? Iranian pilot responded quickly. Complete hydraulic system failure across all systems. Flight control systems failing rapidly on all 4 aircraft. All 4 helicopters experiencing simultaneous critical mechanical failures at this moment. Need immediate emergency landing authorization right now. Maritime law requires you to assist us immediately. Please, we are going down right now over open water. Maritime law internationally required, assisting any aircraft declaring genuine emergency. Even potentially enemy military aircraft. Humanitarian obligation fully recognized under international maritime law. But Captain Harrison remained deeply suspicious. 4 military helicopters. Simultaneous, identical mechanical failures across all aircraft at exactly the same moment. Perfectly coordinated timing of the emergency declaration. Classic textbook setup for a deception attack on a naval vessel. Harrison transmitted to Air Boss directly and firmly. Authorize their emergency landing. But I want security teams at absolute maximum alert this second, without any delay. All available Marines moving to flight deck positions immediately right now. The moment those doors open, if anything moves wrong even slightly, eliminate every single threat without hesitation. I do not believe this emergency for even 1 single second. Prepare for the absolute worst-case scenario possible. Execute those preparations right now. 3:19 p.m. 4 Iranian helicopters approach the carrier flight deck slowly and carefully. All flight operations aboard Lincoln immediately suspended for landing. Parked FA-18S pushed aside quickly to create emergency landing space on deck. Area cleared as fast as humanly possible. 40 Super Hornets now densely parked across the remaining deck space, all aircraft fully fueled and weapons armed. 20 heavily armed sailors immediately positioned and ready around the designated landing zone. M4 assault rifles raised and at the ready position. Eyes locked hard on the approaching helicopters. Fingers positioned carefully near triggers. Absolute tension on that flight deck. Deeply suspicious. Ready for absolutely anything that could happen. 3:20 p.m. 4 MHUAM-I. 17 helicopters descended slowly. Touched down on USS. Abraham Lincoln flight deck one by one in quick succession. Engines kept deliberately running at full power. Rotor blades spinning fast above the deck. 30 full seconds of complete silence followed the landing. Flight deck crew standing ready and waiting. Expecting injured Iranian pilots to walk out slowly with hands visible. Expected standard medical emergency situation. Normal humanitarian assistance procedure about to begin. Then all 4 helicopter doors exploded open simultaneously with tremendous violent force. 32 Iranian Commandos jumped out directly onto American steel. Rifles immediately raised to full firing position. Immediately firing in every direction without pause. Absolutely no warning given to anyone on that deck. Zero hesitation shown by any single commando. 20 flight deck crew members hit in the very first 10 seconds of the attack. Shot down exactly where they stood working. Killed instantly. Wounded seriously. Blood spreading fast across the gray carrier deck. Complete and total chaos erupting everywhere on the deck simultaneously. Iranian commandos spread fast across the entire flight deck with practiced efficiency, running hard between the densely parked FA-18 Super Hornets, throwing grenades directly at parked aircraft fuselages. RPG-7 rockets fired up at the carrier control tower above. A K-103 assault rifles cracking constantly in every direction across the deck. Explosions going off continuously. Total assault in full violent motion. Surprise element completely and fully achieved. Commander Hosseini was first commando out of his helicopter screaming orders at full volume across the deck. Kill every American you see right now. Destroy every single aircraft on this deck. Take that tower immediately. Move, move, move. 32 commandos executing their carefully rehearsed 4-group coordinated attack plan. 8 commandos attacking the control tower directly. 8 commandos actively sabotaging parked aircraft with explosives. 8 commandos securing the helicopter landing zone. 8 commandos hunting and killing the remaining flight crew across the deck. Coordinated. Professional. Deadly opening minutes of the assault achieved as planned. Within 15 seconds of the very first shots fired. 120 flight deck crew fighting back with everything available to them. Armed security teams returning extremely heavy fire from every available position across the deck. M4 assault rifles firing rapidly and accurately. 9mm service pistols shooting at close range. Every sailor using the massive FA-18S as fighting cover and hard protection from enemy fire. Protecting the carrier and protecting their fellow sailors with their lives. Fighting with absolute ferocity for survival on their own ship, within 30 full seconds of the attack beginning. First, Marines arrived running at full sprint onto the flight deck. Lieutenant Jake Mitchell personally leading first squad at absolute full sprint across the deck. 12 Marines charging hard onto the flight deck immediately without hesitation. M4S firing continuously at every commando position visible. Grenades thrown hard at concentrated enemy groups between aircraft. Completely aggressive response. Completely violent response. Absolutely determined to clear that deck of every single threat. Hostile Iranian forces confirmed and engaged on deck. Engage all targets immediately and continuously. Protect this carrier with absolutely everything you have. Kill every single one of them right now.